Stay tuned for the following special presentation from KOFO 1220 and 103.7 FM. KOFO, your sports source for East Central Kansas, welcomes you to this edition of the Kent Kessinger Show, live from Pizza Time in downtown Ottawa. It's our weekly chat with Ottawa University head football coach Kent Kessinger, and your weekly chance to enjoy food and drink specials at Pizza Time during the show. The Kent Kessinger Show on KOFO is brought to you by State Farm Insurance Agent Keith King, Ottawa University, and Pizza Time. Now, live from the KOFO Sports Booth, here's your host, Bob Johnson.
Hey, how are you?
Doing well, Bob. How are you?
I am fantastic, and I hope you are too.
Well, thank you.
That was very genuine of me, wasn't it?
It was.
Wow.
It was. It was very well spoken too. I just feel the warmth.
It's that liberal
on a
arts.
Cool, brisk day. Just feel the.
That's my
the
liberal
warmth.
arts education going
It
for
is.
me.
It's shining through
Right now.
Shining through.
And you can only hear this tonight over on the internet on KOFO.com. Over on the mothership, we do have Ottawa University Braves soccer going on, but here we reach the world. Not just Franklin County and the surrounding areas, the world.
The greater eastern part of Kansas and beyond.
Exactly. Guam, we're talking to you.
Definitely Guam tonight.
So we appreciate you all joining us here, and of course we get the task of talking about another tough weekend for the Ottawa University Braves. They fall to Tabor and Hillsborough 35-28, and it's kind of just like a shampoo bottle, rinse and repeat.
Unfortunately, that's been the case so far. It's just we just, like we talked about after the game, just being able to consistently just maintain drives, whether it's offensively or be able to help each other out. An offense goes and scores, in a nice long drive, and then we give up a 2-play, touchdown pass, and all of a sudden the next thing you know, you're back at it, and then we had our special team woes. Finally gave the young one a chance at a field goal, which was a pretty short one, and we didn't get the ball up high enough in the air to be able to give it a shot. So, we come away with points there. It's a different ball game because now they have to score in order to at least tie or try to go ahead.
And again, it's just kind of the same combinations as we said. It's and as we talked about in the post game, it's maybe a concentration issue in some ways.
Yeah, it's interesting. You go back and you look at our starts. There's one game where we didn't score in the first drive that we had the ball. Otherwise, 3 out of the 4 games, the first time we get possession of the ball, we go down and score. We do it against Kansas Wesleyan, we do it against Tabor, and we do it against Southwestern. Southwestern was like a 2-play or 3-play drive. Sterling was like an 8-play drive. Kansas Wesleyan was like an 8-play drive. Sterling was the one that we didn't get, so Tabor was an 8-play drive. And then you go through, and we got a score in the second quarter, but only one. We had a series in between that first score and that score in the second quarter. We had like 4 3-and-outs offensively. I think after the second 3-and-out, our defense gives up an 80-yard bomb, in one of those times. So instead of moving the ball and keeping the defense off the field and allowing them to pin their ears back and play at full strength, we put them out there after 2 3-and-outs, and we give up a big play. And then we kind of regroup after about 4 3-and-outs, and we go down and we do another 8-play drive and score, and then we have another opportunity at the end of the half, and we're at about 5 or 6 plays, and we break down on 2 or 3 of those last plays, and don't play pitch and catch with on 4th down and 2 in a 2-minute drill, which we're going to probably throw it anyways, but at that point, but 4th down and 2 and then turn it over on downs, which we're at the 26-yard line at that point. Have a chance to be able to go in and at least try to get some points.
Well, and just not that, as far as concentration issue goes, in that final drive for Tabor, 2 big penalties
Yeah.
kept that drive alive for
Yep.
Tabor when there were plenty of opportunities to get off the field.
You know, my dad has said for many, many years that, you know, personal fouls particularly that extend drives usually end in scores. And I would say in my coaching tenure as a head football coach, because that's about all the farther back I can remember at this point, I would say that is about a 90 to 95% accuracy. For a while, I thought it was 100%, and I think we stopped one person once in that time period. So it is something when you're on defense and there's a personal foul somewhere, or we had a roughing the passer, is what we ended up having called against us, or a PI, or maybe a late hit or something like that, that extends the drive. You end up, you know, giving up a score, and it's usually a touchdown, it seems like.
And that there, I mean, you can pinpoint the different points of that game that, okay, here's a cause, here's a cause, here's a cause, that for the Braves to not pick up the W. And in hindsight, and yes, maybe it is being a bit Pollyannish here, but at the same time, with all those negatives, you take a look at this team. When this team's on, this team is fantastic and can play with anybody.
Yeah, no, that's the thing I told our guys, you know, on yesterday is when we had our team meeting, and we give them Sundays off. They got to go to the training room. That's about it on Sundays. And then on Mondays we get together and we watch the film. But right before the film, I told them, I said, hey, you know, guys, here's where we're at. You know, I am both encouraged and discouraged at the same time with our team. And the discouraging part is that, you know, we do things that don't get us in the W column. But the encouraging thing is when we do things well, we do them really, really well. I mean, we do them really well. We might be one of the only teams, and I don't know if you said it or it was one of our other coaches that said it, that we could be 4-0 as easily as we could be 0-4. I mean, that's just that's where we're at, and I think that's us still trying to kind of, you know, find. It's not an identity as much as it's to find the guys that are going to be the key playmakers for us when it comes to our team. You know, last year we knew we could go to Darian Dillard, and you know, a couple of years before that we could go to Luke Lundy and Josh Stangby, and before that we had Clarence Anderson and on the offensive side of the football, and then defensively is, you know, the guys that'll be able to be playmakers for defense. Who's going to be our shutdown corner, or who's going to be that defensive lineman? And usually you look at Jacob Garcia, and he's played pretty well, and I think that, you know, he's getting back into the swing from that early injury that he had, but you look at just some other spots, and where are the guys that are going to make those plays? Because we're a really good complementary squad. The playmakers is the area that we're still trying to get to.
Well, and you bring up the secondary, and we have seen for a few weeks now issues, whether it's communication or just not being in the right place with the secondary, and I think in a sense that might be the Achilles heel right now of the defense.
Yeah, this year coming into it, and Coach Pearson and I talked about it. We looked at the guys that we were going to have back there, and we felt pretty good about what we were going to have. Now we're at a little bit of a deficit. You know, you don't have Kobe Womack this last week because he was under concussion protocol, and you don't have Colton Tafoya. So you lose two guys that we thought were going to be pretty good cogs in the secondary to help kind of spell some things, because you got one senior in that entire secondary. Otherwise, you're looking at juniors and sophomores and even some freshmen. So it's really, really, really young. The bonus is, after this year, you know, you got a bunch of young guys that got a bunch of experience. The issue is that you're going to go through some growing pains in the process.
And that is what we've seen so far. But, you know, another positive, run game had a really good game again. So 2 weeks in a row, it seems like maybe things are beginning to smooth out there.
Yeah, I think Santino and Dalen really played well in the game. I mean, they ran the ball extremely well, and we did some things to kind of get the receivers basically included in the run game. The little bubble screens and spot screens that we ran, and a couple shovel fly sweeps and that sort of thing to kind of get them into the mix. And I think that's the way that we kind of got to go, as we continue this season, is we got to be able to look at our screen game as being part of our running game. We're better on the edges, with our running backs, we're better between our guard and our tackle then instead of being in the guard-to-guard area. With our receivers, we can get a little bit of stretch. And so we need to intermingle those things. We need to disguise them a little bit, as we go, and then continue to be effective. Because that's where I can tell you the O-line is starting to improve, is when you watch them do our tackle zone stuff, they're a lot more in sync. And I think that's only going to improve as we continue to go through the season.
We're going to take our first break of the night right here. When we come back, we're going to talk about homecoming coming up this week. The Braves will be taking on Avila for homecoming this Saturday. And, of course, kickoff will be at 1. We'll have pregame at noon. And it'll be on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO, also on KOFO.com. But we'll take a break. You're listening to us on KOFO.com.
I came here to run cross country, and it ended up being way different than I thought it was going to be. It's unlike anything I've ever been a part of to be on the team. Everyone is so completely different. There are people you never thought you'd be friends with, nothing like your outside friends, but somehow you all click to be the same and have the same interests, but yet completely different. Everyone's always there for you. It's not just about running. Friendships and families, like they're your siblings when you're away from home. That's what it means to be a part of the Braves cross country and track team, to be a family.
Be a Brave. Visit ottawa.edu.
Pizza Time at 208 South Main in historic downtown Ottawa is very proud to be a locally owned and operated part of the community. From supporting our schools and charities to backing our sports teams, Pizza Time has been serving the area in more than just pizza since 1985. Dine in, carry out, or free delivery. Remember, Pizza Time is here to continue to serve up the area's favorite pizza. Look us up and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or just call us at 242-TIME. You know what time it is? It's always Pizza Time.
Nothing is more important than the health of kids in Kansas. Schools and child care providers are doing their part to help kids grow up healthy by offering tasty, nutritious food choices and fun ways to be physically active. See what's going on with child nutrition and wellness in Kansas at www.kn-eat.org. Now is a great time to learn how to eat smart and play hard for life. Brought to you by the Kansas Department of Education and this station.
Back here on 1220, I want to say 1220. It's on KOFO.com with the Pizza Time Kent Kessinger Show. Ironically enough, we're live from Pizza Time. It's not just a nifty title. We're here, actually, doing this podcast.
In the, what do we call this little perch area that we have?
I like to refer to it as Coach's Corner.
Coach's Corner. I like it.
Yeah. Well, we get to
like
see
it.
Main Street, people driving around.
All lighted up. You can tell what's on the marquee. Looks like the Joker and Abominable are showing at the Plaza 1907.com theater.
Yes. I would say you could go see come here and then see a show, but it doesn't look like that's going on right now. But you could still come here till the top of the hour and have some pizza.
Definitely eat some pizza.
And watch a replay of Ohio State, Michigan State from the weekend.
That's right. Yeah.
And see Coach and ask him a question. He would be happy to answer your queries, whether it's on relationships or football. He is happy to help you out.
Like the Dr. Phil of the KCAC, huh?
Now that's like the cow peeing in the butter and calling it margarine.
There you go.
There you go. That's your Dr. Philism for the day right there. So we talk about coming up this weekend, homecoming, it's a big time, expecting a large crowd, expecting the stadium to be full, and the finishing touches were being put on the press box.
Yeah,
and
definitely can take a look at those on Twitter. They've had a lot of really nice pictures put up.
Yes, and of course then the official ceremony for the renaming of the stadium and that. So a lot of things going on, and I would imagine that the players are not only excited for homecoming, but they'd like to maybe pull off a victory here this weekend.
Well, yeah, one would hope that that's our our aim. I think they are. It's one of the things that we talked about this week is in order to get that focus or that continuity going is that we just got to keep on preparing and getting ourselves better. We're going to place another good football team. There's really a lot of parity in the KCAC from what I'm seeing on film right now, and I think that the only team that I haven't really spent a whole lot of time watching yet is Bethel. I think we've had a couple crossover games with them, but they don't really show us anything that we'll need from an offense or defensive perspective. But against the teams we're playing, but everybody else, I've seen Friends, I've seen St. Mary and Bethany, and obviously we've played most of the other ones. We watched McPherson and on film, and there's a whole lot of parity. So there's no weak links, I think, in this schedule this year.
No, I would say that this is probably one of the more contested seasons, with the exception of Kansas Wesleyan right now being on the top of there. But it seems like it's very competitive. Even when you look at the bottom of the table, even though some of those teams have struggled, that they have played well at times.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that even Kansas Wesleyan is a different team than they were last year. For some reason they just don't look or play as strong as they were last year, and they got a very favorable ranking right now in the NAI top 25. But I wouldn't be surprised if some team coming up here in the next couple of weeks may knock them off.
I was going to say they still have to play Sterling, don't they?
I know they have to play Bethel. I know that one for sure. But there's quite a few good teams left, for them to be able to play, and so.
I would agree with you. I think Kansas Wesleyan is ripe for the pickings, and that goes back to the statement in the first segment that I think this team, Ottawa University, if they were clicking on all cylinders, probably would have won that game 2 weeks ago, in my opinion.
No, that's the thing that we've got to just be able to dial in when it comes to Saturday. And now we're playing Avila, and they have they're using it basically kind of now at this point a 2-quarterback system, and they kind of like what they were doing a little bit last year. And they put up some points. I think they scored 50-some points this last weekend. But at the same time, Bethany has been struggling, and they put up over 30 points on them. So it's one of those things that I think that you're gonna see a good team come in, but that has the ability to give up points, and that we need to be able to capitalize on.
What's it like to have a home game?
I don't know. This year it's really hard to figure it out, because this is only the second one, and we're staring down homecoming, And I think back in the history of all that it was football, and from my understanding, homecoming started at the University of Missouri. That's exactly what they were doing? They'd been gone so many times they were actually coming home to play, and so maybe it's appropriate that homecoming is our second home game.
I got to imagine that your players are excited to actually be at home to play, being this is just game 2 of the home schedule.
Yeah, I think they're going to be excited to not take. First of all, they're going to sleep in their own beds, what they normally do, but they don't have to get on a bus and go anywhere. So I think they're going to be very excited about that.
And by the time it's all over with, it's not going to be late either. So.
No, it'd be late. You can definitely have an evening where you're not getting back at midnight or 2 in the morning or whatever it is like that. Yeah.
The good part is that the second half of the schedule you have 3 in a row at home. So
yeah,
that's going to be nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. It's going to be nice to be able to do it. Now, I'm a big fan for interspersing it out to where you don't have a big block of either away or home. But we are the only team that has that this year in the KCAC. So we are the unlucky crew.
Who did you anger?
I don't know. Whoever it was, they were not happy with and the schedule. The schedule gods did not help us.
Now, it should have been the flip-flop of the previous year, right?
Yeah, but they had redone it for some reason or another to where we had they had to had to add Avila. It's easy for me to say. And so in doing so, they had to reschedule things. And so they came up with a new schedule instead of just, fitting it in and that sort of deal. But so, yeah.
Now, they're redoing the schedule again here soon, aren't they?
Yes. So we will have the flip-flop of this year next year. And then the following year we'll have a brand new schedule.
Oh, that'll be awesome. You'll get to go on the road from pretty much the rest of for the second half of the season.
Yes, next year. Yes. We'll be on the road for the second half. So the only one that we'll have at home is of course Bethany. So we'll have my family will have to drive here and then drive back. But they've got to stay at home for the last 3 years to watch us play.
I was going to say, I mean, at what point in time do they get to come back? I mean, gosh, that's, yeah. Of course, let's see, what, Friends here? Yes, Friends is here this year.
Yes, Friends is our last home game.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank the dear Lord above, because I am not ready to hike that stadium.
It is straight up.
That is straight up in the air. I should get some rappelling equipment and a grappling hook and
safety gear, at least.
Gosh, man, that's being old and fat. That's kind of rough on the knees.
Yeah.
So as we get ready to have homecoming, anything you want to tell the people about homecoming this year that may revolve around the football team?
Well, we're having one of the former Braves is going to the Hall of Fame. Brad Perry is going into the Hall of Fame. He's actually gonna speak to our team on. He's gonna be here on Thursday, but he's gonna speak to our team on Saturday. We're obviously doing all the field dedication things and like that, but the other homecoming stuff. And I think that there's a pretty good group of guys that are coming back for this weekend. But then later in the season, we will, on the last home game, our senior game, we will also be doing something because this will be the 10th anniversary of the 2009 championship team. So we'll be honoring them. So that'll be later in the year. But homecoming week is, generally homecoming week. We got Bayhoff or Braves Hall on Friday, and then the bonfire, and then Saturday's game day. But we'll be the only, I think, unless volleyball's at home, and I'm not sure. I know soccer's on the road. We might be the only athletic show on the docket. I'll have to check that out, though.
Well, that would be that's going to be some primetime viewing. It's a good part of the day.
It's an ESPN game too, so it'll be a little bit longer. So make sure that you pack some snacks, or at least bring some stuff to go and tailgate and come back in at halftime.
I'm looking forward to being big timed by the broadcasters for the ESPN3 broadcast, but that'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be all right. They'll have a nice little room right in the middle of everything. So
yeah, it'll be awesome. And I would remind you, if you want to watch the video from ESPN3, by all means do so. But the best part about that player is there's a mute button, and I say click it and not listen to that broadcast, but go to KOFO.com and pick up the audio from there. Because at least you'll get voices, one, you're familiar with, and two, know your Ottawa University Braves like, I don't know, myself and maybe Casey Weeder, but that's a shameless plug.
Well, shameless plugs is what we do.
And we're good at it. I
yes.
mean, that's the truth here. Well, let's take a break here, and when we come back, we're going to talk about this weekend's opponent in Avila, because I think this is a game that members of last year's team may have had marked on the calendar just because of how things went last year and maybe wanting to redeem themselves. But we will take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about that. You're listening to the Pizza Time Kent Kessinger Show on KOFO.com.
It's late at night. You'd been visiting family and you're on your way home. You didn't see the deer in front of you until it was too late. Everyone is safe. Your vehicle did its job and protected you. Now you get to find out if your auto insurance does the same. It will, because you have State Farm Auto Insurance through local agent Keith King in Ottawa.
I'm State Farm Insurance Agent Keith King. Let's work together to be sure your vehicle has the coverage you need. Call and schedule an appointment today at 242-9435. Stop by my office at 111 South Main in Ottawa or visit online at keithking.net.
When you have an emergency, who do you call? 911. What do you do if you're unable to speak during your emergency? You text to 911. Franklin County Emergency Communications Center has recently added text to 911 technology as part of the new 911 phone system. Cell phone users, apps, or apps messaging services cannot use this feature. It is important to note, dispatch is unable to determine your location while using this service, so always know your location and include that in your initial text. Remember, if you're able to place a voice call, we're able to help you more quickly. But in the event you are unable to speak, text to 911 will still allow us to get the information we need. Call if you can, text if you can't. For more information, go to kansas911.org or 911.gov. This message has been brought to you by the Franklin County Emergency Communications Center and KOFO.
Back here at Pizza Time, it's Bob Johnson along with Kent Kessinger as we have the Pizza Time Kent Kessinger Show here on KOFO.com tonight. We were preempted for soccer, but that's okay. The greatness continues on a great platform such as KOFO.com.
It doesn't matter if it was over the airwaves or through the internet web.
No, I bring it.
Every time.
Hard and heavy. And if I would remember to bring my helmet, there would be stickers all over that. It would make an Ohio State Buckeye jealous.
It might. And noticing on the replay, watching it, they do have a lot of stickers.
Yeah, they're a bit sticker happy.
Yeah, their black unis are pretty outstanding.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with black.
No, that's what we'll be wearing this weekend.
The All Blacks is
the All Blacks this weekend.
Will you do a haka in celebration of the New Zealand All Blacks?
And no, but I wish we had a couple, of the Polynesian descent on our team to be able to do that. That would be great.
I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I would say sign me up, but I'm not Polynesian, nor can I do the haka. But
well, then that would probably rule you out.
Yeah, that would rule me out completely. But I wish I was. That's a different story. Avila comes to town. They beat Bethany 51-38, as you mentioned in the last segment. Avila, though, they've won 3 straight coming into this game. They started out 0-2, but they've picked up 3 straight wins, so they're finding a little bit of momentum at a good time of the season.
Yeah, it's something that I've seen them in a couple of games. Obviously, I watched them against Friends this week. I've watched them against Bethany. I watched that one actually twice because I kind of go backwards. When I watch film, I look at their most recent one and what they've done, and then kind of go back in time. And they had a rough little go at the beginning of the year. They had to play Sterling, and it was kind of a back and forth type of thing. And then it was still even close against Friends. But then they pulled this one out against Bethany. So the thing that they've done that's kind of scary from a coaching standpoint is, they score a lot of points. They put up a lot of points. They give up a lot of points, though, too. And so that's hopefully something that we can keep them in check. Defensively, we can keep them in check, and then we can put the points up.
They look like that all 3 quarterbacks that they have on the roster have seen time this year.
Yeah, somehow or another. I don't know if Jacobs the third, if he was in a little bit of the doghouse at the beginning of the year. I know that he was injured last year, and I actually met him at a camp this summer. Pretty decent kid, it seemed like, type deal. But I think they got him. They're splitting time, him, and I can't remember the name of the other quarterback right now because it's just leaving my head. It's senior moment. But yeah, all three of them have had some time.
And from what you can tell, have they settled on a quarterback? Is it Jacobs the third, or are you going to see?
I think we're going to see
quarterbacks?
both quarterbacks. I think that was their plan last year. Before they got hurt in our game, before our game. So I think that we'll see them both.
And when you take a look at this team, they can run the ball, they can throw the ball, but they also can play. Well, the point totals don't tell you, but they do have some defensive players you've got to keep an eye on.
Yeah, they do, and they turn up the pressure. So when we played Sterling this year, Sterling brought some pressure, but they played a lot of man-to-man. I'm thinking after I'm watching film is that there are going to be very few plays where you don't have a blitz coming from Avila. I think that they try to disrupt things. Sometimes there's a lot of times there's a rhyme and a reason to what they're doing, and sometimes it's like, why did they choose to do that? Well, I never would have guessed that because it was completely, off the wall on what they did. But they try to cause a lot of issues. It's going to be a protection scheme thing. It's going to be a blocking scheme thing. And so, I talk to our coaches, and, we're going to just keep it pretty simple. We're going to go and run the stuff that we've been running all year and keep our blocking scheme simple and just try to make, plays as we go. Know that they're going to get pressure. I've talked to the quarterbacks about protecting themselves, setting up the pressure, and then, we need our receivers to be able to get open and get us some plays.
We bring this up when you bring up the blitzing strategy that they use. This is something that would play well into the Braves' offensive hands that you could take advantage of, because obviously if they're going to bring a blitz, that's going to leave some spaces open.
Yeah, you'll do that, and then matchups. I mean, for us, we can go anywhere from free releasing our backs and basically doing an empty type of a protection to where we're going to keep two backs in the game, and it's really it's not like we substitute to do that. We can do it with the players that are on the field. We can make it look like we're going to be in a one back situation and then have a back leave the backfield, or we can actually bring a second back in like a receiver and use them to protect. So it's not one of those things that you can just line up and say, all right, they're going to be one back, they're going to do insert slide protection, they're going to do this, they're going to do that, because we can be very multiple. Now, sometimes you roll the dice when you do that against blitzing teams, and my theory has been when you play blitzing teams, if they live by the sword, that's also a way that they can die by it, and if they get us, that's going to probably happen. But we need to make sure that we get them as well. So if they're going to blitz and we get the ball off, we need to turn it into a big play.
Do you feel confident in your quarterback's recognition of when a blitz is coming for him to change a play?
I don't know if he's so much change it, but, we build in what we call side adjust routes. And so if we see something, we adjust the route based on what we see. And some of them are built-in side adjust. So we'll have, meaning that we've got a short route or a crossing route or a back flaring out of the backfield or something like that is an adjustment to if they blitz. The thing that we want to do is we want to be able to, if it's coming from the quarterback's blind side or non-read side, we want to make sure that we protect it. So that comes down to our offensive line most of the time. Otherwise, we want to see the blitz, and you'll see any kind of coaches out there that throw the football. What they'll say is, if they blitz, throw into the blitz. It's not throw to the blitzing guy. Okay, make that abundantly clear. We don't teach them to throw to the blitzing guy.
You don't say.
But if they blitz that side, you replace it with a quick throw of some sort or another, because generally that is where they're going to be the weakest. And then you got to catch them with some screens. You got to catch them with some run action type thing that they put a body on body and you create a seam, and the next thing you go, they're gone. And I've seen that. That's happened to them in the Bethany game. That happened to them in the Friends game. That's happened to them basically all year as they've blitzed. You get just them slightly out of their alignment, and you can pop some big runs.
And of course, as we left the cliffhanger before the break, this is a game that has probably been circled on the calendar just a little bit, just because of what happened last year and the way the game ended, and really kind of sank the Braves' hopes for a playoff spot.
Yeah, it was a tough loss. We'd done a really good job. We got the ball with about 5.5 minutes, and we'd run 4 out of that 5 minutes off the clock. We did a really good, what they call a 4-minute offense, meaning that we milked the clock. We took a lot of time off. We got ourselves into a reasonable third down to where we're again going to run the football, and be in a situation where, as we run the football, just to take some more time off the clock, maybe make the team use their. I think that they may have had one timeout left, or at least make them use more time, punt the football at the worst case scenario, and make the team go a long distance, 80 yards or something like that, for a score. And I think our defense, the way that they were playing, because that of all the games that we played last year, I believe our defense played lights out in this game last year. I mean, they really did. They really came to play. They did a great job. It's offensively, we weren't as sharp. We started off really good. I think we scored like 21 points, and then we fizzled. And then we got the ball back, and we were at the point where we're going to win this sucker, and then we turned the ball over. And the turnover turned into a score on that play.
And that's hopefully not going to happen this year.
No, we would prefer it not to. That would be a plus if we didn't do that. But I mean, I think the guys understand that we were close, and it's kind of been one of those things that's kind of been our MO this year, that we've been close. We just need to learn how to finish. That game needed to teach us how to finish. This season we need to figure out how to finish some things and be more productive, I think, in the mid part of our game.
I forgot. We, of course, since we're on the internet, we're not going to have as many that we know are listening to us. But
right.
Amy, hello to the in-laws.
Yep, Bob and Corley are listening. I know.
A future hello to Casey Weeder, who will hear this tomorrow.
Yes.
Want to say hello to the diodes and the chips in the computer in our production room where broadcast is being ran through.
Yes.
So do that. I'm going to throw this out there. If you are listening to us and you want a shout out on the air, I am more than happy to do this. Hit me up on Twitter at Neil, KNEEL _Johnson.
Oh, Neil Johnson. Got it.
Yeah. And or you can hit up Coach K at his Twitter handle.
Yes, at Coach Kessinger.
Yeah.
It's really easy.
Yeah. I went a little more not really out of the box, but
You could be like Brendan Grow and change it every 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, I'm not that creative.
Yeah.
So, but I am creative enough that when we come back, we are going to play Homer Call.
The much anticipated Homer Call.
Yes.
You've been pubbing this for a couple weeks.
Yes.
Now,
Now I have to be honest here. If I was to have played this whole thing when we come back, it probably would take the whole next segment. But hopefully, what I've got will give it enough. I will have to preface it just a little bit.
Okay, gotcha.
But we'll take our final break. When we come back, it'll be time for Homer Call here on the Pizza Time Kent Kessinger Show. You're listening to us on KOFO.com.
Let's face it, auto insurance can be confusing. Do you know your comprehensive from your collision, your no-fault from liability, your premium from your deductible? After an accident is no time to find out that your definition of full coverage is actually different from what your policy says. Let local State Farm Insurance Agent Keith King explain auto insurance in terms you can understand.
I'm State Farm Insurance Agent Keith King. Let's work together to be sure your vehicle has the coverage you need. Call and schedule an appointment today at 242-9435. Stop by my office at 111 South Main in Ottawa or visit online at keithking.net.
Pizza Time at 208 South Main in historic downtown Ottawa is very proud to be a locally owned and operated part of the community. From supporting our schools and charities to backing our sports teams, Pizza Time has been serving the area in more than just pizza since 1985. Dine in, carry out, or free delivery. Remember, Pizza Time is here to continue to serve up the area's favorite pizza. Look us up and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or just call us at 242-TIME. You know what time it is? It's always Pizza Time.
I think what we do best is we give them the dignity back by helping them see that there are so many other people out there with that very same story. When we can get that hope, then you can do marvelous things.
In the 50 years of Valley Hope's operation, they have helped change the lives of over 300,000 people in need. Are you or someone you know suffering from addiction? Visit valleyhope.org. Sponsored by Valley Hope Association and this station.
We're back here for the final segment of the Pizza Time Kent Kessinger Show. I'm Bob Johnson, head coach Kent Kessinger, sitting right across from me. If you're going across the radio dial, that'd be left to right or north to south. Do you like how I threw that in there? Yeah. It's like doing play-by-play.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I'm always practicing, trying to better myself. Lord knows I need it. Anyway, so it is time to play Homer Call here on the Pizza Time Kent Kessinger Show. Now, here's how this works for people who are not familiar. We scour the KCAC for audio, for the biggest homers, the best of the worst, whatever we can. The last time we played this already into the clubhouse was the miracle punt by the freshman kicker.
Miracle punt.
But this week, I have to say, first of all, shout out to Casey Weeder who found this for me. He found this. This was from week 1, the Langston-McPherson game. Now, like I said, I have to preface this because it would have been really, really long had we played the whole thing. But it goes from the color guy calling plays to nicknames of the quarterback, such as the Magic Man. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so on from there. So without further ado, here comes this first offering.
Game on the line. Snap comes back to Ed Crouch. Rolls the pocket right. Trying to come back left. He's got Ben Nickel. Can he hit him? He's got it. He's into the end zone. Does he have it? Touchdown, Bulldogs. My goodness. Ben Nickel, with no time on the clock, scores the touchdown to get the Bulldogs within 1. How did he hang on to it at the goal line? The former Bull Pup, now a Bulldog with a potential game-tying play. And now, Steve, the million-dollar question with a timeout in your back pocket. Do you go for 2 or kick the extra point and go to overtime?
Well, we'll see. They're huddling. You know what he's going to do? He's going to listen to his players. If his players say go, they're going to go.
So not only do you have an enthusiastic person in the background clapping.
Definitely, yes.
I don't know if that was the color guy doing that or not, which I've always been told that when you're in the press box, you have to be professional.
True.
So we had that. The million-dollar question.
The million-dollar question.
And then the greatest line to me is, I'll tell you what he's going to do. He's going to listen to his players. Coach, are you going to listen to your players?
Probably not. I probably have that determination already done. We either are going to go for 2 or we're not going to go for 2. I might get some suggestions as to the type of play. If they feel comfortable about a certain, I might give them a choice. Hey, what do you think about this one or this one? If they feel more popular, more confident, I should say, about one of them, I might go that way. But generally, I'll let the coach be the coach.
You mean you're not asking the radio fatties for any help there?
No, when we practice 2-minute drills during the week, I let the quarterbacks call their 2-minute drill because it gives me an idea of their thought processes on plays and that sort of thing. But I also tell them when we get into a real 2-minute drill, don't worry, I've got it all.
See, I hope you weren't disappointed. I mean, this was
that was pretty good. That's pretty good.
It was even further out than
I bet.
I had to find a place to
right.
cut it here. All right, so this is coming up from the St. Mary Bethany matchup, And let's take a listen to this auditory gem.
I beg your pardon, they put it at the 5, so it's 2nd and 1. Dixon zips it inside, caught! Front pylon! Rodney Morat! From 5 yards away. Dinson, he can spin it. And Bethany takes the lead, 13-12 with 13:40 to go.
So that's a great drive by Bethany. I mean, Austin Dinson finally Rodney Morat in the corner, front corner of the end zone right there. Little hitch route. The defensive back thought he was going to run a fade and kind of stops it short, hits him as soon as he turns, and touchdown Bethany.
Yeah, it sounded a lot like from Charlie Brown.
Apparently, Charlie Brown's teacher was the color guy.
Color day, yeah.
First of all, we love the overmodulation of every Bethany broadcast.
Yeah, there's always this little scruffy thing going.
It is way high for the audio.
Yeah.
You've got to turn that down a little. But then to get the color guy, I don't know what was said.
Yeah, I missed it too. I mean, I listened hard and got you. I know that he was trying to run a fade route and he stopped.
Yeah.
I got that part.
But he sure can spin it.
Spin it, yes.
Rumpelstiltskin, who knows? Is he spinning a yarn?
I think he means throw the football.
Is he throwing the football?
Yes,
okay.
I think that's what they're talking about, spinning.
I might put that in my back pocket to use that this year.
Definitely.
I think that's something I'm going to have to do.
Throwing darts.
No.
I'll often say throwing darts, or like my son likes to say, dropping dimes.
Well, that could also have another meaning, but we won't go there. So, all right. So that is that's choice number 2.
Choice number 2.
So this is the final choice here, and this one's going to be, well, this comes from this past weekend with the Ottawa Tabor game. I thought I'd listen to NPR and see what happened.
Okay,
here.
gotcha.
So here we go.
Wind is still blowing. Not quite as much. That's true. I think, it is calmed down a bit. Right at 70 degrees.
Oh, shit. I know you were pinned.
Johnson bounces out, then cuts back in, touchdown. And a late hit.
Well,
yeah.
He got hit in the end zone.
Yeah, he was 4 yards in when he got hit, so. We'll take that on the kickoff.
Don't really need it, but we'll take it anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe we can hit kind of a high one and run under.
There we go.
Okay, so that was the game-winning touchdown.
That's what I was going to say. The way it made it understand, I remember the penalty afterward. I'm going, that's the game-winning touchdown. That's a lot of excitement.
I don't know how they can control themselves.
I don't know either. Wow.
That is
amazing.
You got a weather forecast, though.
I did, definitely. It was sunny and the wind's going down. Sunny today, 70 degrees. Looks like we'll have a little clouds in the afternoon.
Coming up next on NPR, we'll also talk about our favorite recipes. And then tomorrow's political climate, how it affects you today. Okay.
Yeah.
That's.
It's too. That adds a degree of difficulty in my selection process.
I think.
Who's in the box now? We have in the box.
We already have the miracle punt with the Bethany game.
Oh yes, the miracle punt with the Bethany game.
Yeah.
Man.
This may be one of the best groups pulled together.
It is. This is tough. This is a tough 3. I'd probably throw out the Charlie Brown teacher one and really focus on the NPR versus the Magic Man. Oh man, there were so many things in that. I think that the tough part is, do you go with the one that's going to put you asleep, for a nightcap? Or do you go with the one that had like every cliche thing in it? That's a tough one. I would almost say that if we get to the end of the year and we don't have another one, that we pull one of these two and make it into the running.
We might have to do a wild card.
Well, definitely. And I would say that I'm gonna go with the first one, the McPherson-Langston one.
Okay.
As being in, because just the number of cliches and the but I'm telling you, if we throw the wild card, if we need to pull it, definitely the game-winning touchdown. What it came out to be.
How do you not even get excited?
Some excitement, yeah.
I mean,
if the Bethany guys are doing that one, you can't understand it because of all the static of what they're screaming and yelling.
Yeah, the overmodulation ruins that one. But, yeah, I think we may have someone who could be in a wild card round.
Definitely.
So
Might have to be might have to pull a secret. I would go 1A and 1B right now.
So there you have it. The McPherson-Langston audio is the winner this week for Homer Call. We'll have Homer Call again in a couple of weeks. I've already got one lined up already.
All right.
And so here in a couple of weeks, we'll do it again. And then we'll see. We may end up having a wild card round. So we've got 2 in the books in the finals.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good choice. So we've got a wild card already. We've got a winner. We've got 2 winners ready to go. And St. Mary and Bethany, you go to the recycle bin.
Yes, that one goes in. There were 3 good ones though, Bob. I would have to say those were good. Thank you, Casey, for pulling some of these out as well.
Yes. We've just got 90 seconds left to go here in the program tonight. What's your final words for this weekend?
Well, one of the things we talked about our players doing is, being better every day. And I think that's kind of a mantra that they can, obviously utilize for our football program and what we want to be able to do on Saturday. But then they can also do outside of football. Just being better at everything that they do every day, whether it's a better son or better friend or better teammate or better football player. We want them to do that. And then that'll be, I think, hopefully a good show, and it'll be great to be back home. To be able to play a afternoon kickoff. It's supposed to be cool and crisp. It's going to be your kind of weather. It's Bob Johnson weather, but we definitely want to get you guys, the fans of the Brave Nation, to get out and support the team. Come and see the new digs in the stadium if you haven't seen it. It's great views, really nice stuff that we're doing up there, and so. Should be a wonderful opportunity to hopefully showcase our football team this weekend.
I also would like to continue my push for Hall of Fame candidacy, so someday I can be downstairs with a Hall of Fame plaque. So.
Yes, with the plaque. That
yes.
would be. We just have to do some paperwork, I think, Bob.
I'm feeling it. You
got to be 10 years out. I don't know. Do you have to be 10 years out of broadcasting before you do that?
I don't know.
We'll have to look up the rules.
We'll check that out. But that's going to wrap it up for us here this week on the Pizza Time Kent Kessinger Show. We'll talk to you again. Well, I'll talk to you on Saturday. Coach will talk to you again on Saturday. But we'll talk to you again a week from tonight from here at Pizza Time. Thanks for joining us here on KOFO.com.